Well, how's it going, guys? James here from Butler Farms, just up here finishing up a little project that I started yesterday. Really don't know that it'll work. I'm willing to try anything once, and you know, it's one of those kind of things that I don't have any money in it. I don't have any investment in it whatsoever, other than a little time late yesterday afternoon where I was done for the day and just kind of sitting outside enjoying the late afternoon breeze, and you know, just thought, well, you know, let's try this and see if it works. Now there are going to be some that watch this and go, that's nuts, that doesn't work, and you know, maybe they're right, maybe they're absolutely right, but I will say this: I have seen the results. Now, was it results from what I'm going to show you, or was it just chance? I can't 100% verify that, but I will say that the people that I've seen try this, they swear by it, and they can show you the proof of it. And so, you know, like I said, it may be crazy, it may not work. If it doesn't work, then what I used to make it will end up in the same place where it was going to end up before. I don't know how many of you have heard of electroculture. And electroculture basically is using the electrical energy in the air that's floating around us all the time to kind of invigorate the soil, to channel energy, I guess you would say, into the soil around the roots and things like that. This is not anything new. It is something that has been around for quite a while, you know, the normal mainstream scientific ag people, they foo-foo it, and it's, you know, it doesn't work. It's a, you know, it's just it's a fool's errand kind of thing. I'll tell you why I changed my mind on that. I did start reading up on this a couple of years ago. This was not something that just all of a sudden go, wow, I've never seen that before. No, I'd seen this before, and I was very skeptical to begin with. And as y'all know, I watch some other channels that I really enjoy, and some of these channels, for me, the channels that I'm going to spend my time watching have to follow a few simple rules. First of all, they can't be corporate homesteading channels. I'm not going to watch that. You know, the people that own film are trying to be homesteaders, but yet they've got sponsors and staffs and everything else that are not only running their channel, they're running their farm, and they're just the face of it at this point. I'm sure they started out as homesteaders, and there's several big names out there that I used to follow and subscribe to that I don't anymore. But that's for a whole different video. We've talked about that before. But one of them that I watch is Deep South Homestead, and Danny and Wanda do things a little bit differently. They've got high tunnels, they've got in-ground gardens, they've got container gardens, they've got all the different things, all the different ways of growing food, and they are committed to growing all the food they eat, and that's what I want to do. That's what I'm shooting for. And one thing that he started using, I admit I am not up to date on the videos. I just don't have the time, and Danny wanted to put out a lot of videos along with the other people that I watch, so I have to watch them when I can. I'm a little bit behind, so if you go back in their playlist, you'll see this. It's not right up at the top. It's kind of buried down in there, probably, I don't know, 6 to 12 months ago, I don't know. And they're using what's called electroculture. Now, again, electroculture is just trying to harness that electrical energy from the air, from the environment around you, and channel it into the soil to kind of invigorate and kickstart your plants. And I didn't really believe in it until I saw several videos that where I am now. Like I said, I'm not up to date. And what he has done is, for instance, he's got tomatoes in the ground. He's got squash in the ground and different things, same kind of things that I grow. And he'll have one of these electroculture rods that I'm getting ready to show you in the ground. And the thought is that it gives about a 3-foot diameter from the rod to invigorate the soil. And I'm telling you, in the video, And I trust Danny and Wanda that where the rods are, the plants, now it'll be the same exact plant on down the road, same seed, same soil, same plant, planted at the same time. And where the rods are in the ground, the plants are double the size. They're deeper green. They've got more blooms on them. They have more fruit on them. The fruit on them, as far as like the tomato plants, the fruit is noticeably bigger. It's noticeably heavier, and it's you know, you have the same tomato plant right down the road that may have, you know, 8 or 10 tomatoes on it that are, I don't know, baseball size, but then the same tomato plant on down the road that's got these electroculture rods, you've got softball sized tomatoes, and to the point that, I mean, it is just solid tomatoes on there. So it got me thinking, you know, what could it hurt? Because I got to thinking what I would need to kind of get into this space and give it a shot, give it a real honest shot. Well, I have got copper laying around. One thing that you'll learn about me is I don't throw anything away. And so I had these scrap pieces of bare solid copper, and even if it had the coating on it, it's real easy to strip. And so I kind of got to looking around at how to make one of these rods. Now what Danny suggests, he's got a friend named Mickey at a place called Hills Mill Homestead. They've got their own channel too, and I went there, and he's kind of, I guess, what you call the guru of electroculture. And you know, yeah, he does sell them, but he also tells you how to make them, and he encourages you to make your own. And like I said, so I had this scrap laying around, and when I get enough scrap, I take it to the scrap yard and make a little bit of money. That's what I do. But you know, if these don't work, guess where they go back to? Right back in the scrap yard, or right back in the scrap trailer. They're worth just as much in this configuration as they are straight. So they're not worth anything as far as electrical work and things like that, because the pieces were too short to do anything with. So it was total scrap, no money involved, no investment whatsoever, other than a little bit of time late on a Saturday afternoon. So what it is this is a piece of copper wire, solid piece of copper wire. Like I said, it's about 30 inches long, basically what I did to get the coils, now they suggest that you have 7 coils. I never could get 7 out of it. I did get 6. I guess depending on how you count it, it may look like 7. And so you've got a little short piece down here at the end that's about 3 inches long. That's going to stick in the ground, and I'll put it between a couple of different plants so that it could, you know, work its magic out from those plants. And then you've got this little about, I don't know, 5-6 inch antenna sticking up. Now it looks silly. I'm going to admit it looks silly. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that it didn't work. But like I said, I've watched the videos from Hills Mill. I'd never heard of them before until I was turned on to this, and I went through some of their videos, and I've seen where they've used electroculture and where they haven't. I've watched Danny's videos at Deep South Homestead where they've had electroculture and where they haven't. I don't know. You know, there's no real scientific proof of this, but there's also not been a lot of scientific study. Let me say this also: the people that you know, kind of laugh at these kind of things that people come up with, or that people try, you know, these are the same people that are monocropping us into non-existence as far as farming goes. You know, big ag is always going to tell you, just don't try that. That's silly. That won't work. That's this, that's that. Keep buying our GMO Franken seeds and Franken food from the grocery store. That's what they're going to tell you. You know, it may not have scientific consensus simply because they're not willing to pay scientists to study it. They may be scared of what the results are, to be honest with you. For those of us out there growing our own food and the amount of food that we can produce, I don't know. So laugh at me if you want to. I'm going to give it a shot. I sat down yesterday. I did my wrappings around a broom handle. This copper wire is easy to bend. It's not like you're going to have to get a torch and heat it up and try to bend it. A little bit of dexterity and strength in your hands, and you can do that very easily. You can see the coils come out pretty good off of a broomstick, but I'm gonna give it a try. And as I do my garden tours, we'll talk about it, we'll look at it, we'll see if it works or not. Again, this small end, about 3 inches, will go in the ground. This will be above the ground with this little antenna sticking up, and we're gonna see what happens. I know I've gardened this spot long enough to know what the production looks like down here. I use the same plants every year, I use the same seeds every year, and I know about how much I'm going to produce in that spot every year depending on how many I put in the ground. I can go back and look at my records and see if I plant 10 tomato plants, this is how many pounds I expect throughout the season. If I plant 20, obviously I'm going to double that, and it usually works out pretty close. Now, years where we've had weird stuff happen and drought and freezes late and all this kind of stuff, of course it changes some. But I've been gardening that long enough to know in a general ballpark about how much it'll produce and about what size it'll produce and those kind of things. We're going to give this a shot. We're going to see if electroculture will actually work. Like I said, if it doesn't work, I haven't lost a thing, guys. I will pull these out of the garden, I will throw them back on the scrap trailer, and whatever copper's going for is what I'll get for it when I take all my scrap to the scrap yard about once a year. So, you know, nothing gained, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Take a piece of trash, something that was going to the recycling bin anyway, and turn it into vegetables. Let's see if it works. Follow along with me. I'll keep you up to date, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate you. We love you. This is James from Butler Farms, and we'll be seeing you.